Hello, good morning. My name's Justin Urquhart Stewart, and for those who've been here before, good to see you again. For those who haven't, you're very welcome. Right, what I normally try and do is pick a sort of subject for the week which might be of relevance. Let me be odd this week by actually mentioning something I'll be talking about in the future, which is something I've always really rather detested, but I think it's time I could spend some more time mentioning it, and that'll be gold, and how we should be investing in gold, and why should we be investing in gold, because frankly, most of the time, you probably shouldn't be. But that's for another time. Something I want to mention this week is a subject which is getting more airing, but frankly, it doesn't always necessarily clear the air, just actually in many ways it makes it more complicated. And that is about zombie companies. Now, zombies as a genre is never one that's really been a particular interest to me. I never got much further than the Michael Jackson Thriller video, and that was about it. And of course, zombies are people who are supposed to be, are they not dead or dead? I'm not too sure, but they come back and eat you. That's about the only connection you really need to know as far as companies are concerned, because actually companies don't come back and eat you, but they will eat your money. So a zombie company is this. It's a company that exists, it's still sort of alive, but frankly should be dead. Why, as investors, do we need to be aware of them? Well, quite often you can find yourself investing in a zombie company that's not going to go anywhere and find itself in a position where it's neither dead nor alive and your money may be invested in it and could end up being stuck. So what happens in these cases? Well, often companies will find themselves in a position where they borrow quite a lot of money, invested to actually try and grow. Circumstances have then changed. And then often what you'd have happen is normally probably the investors themselves, may well be actually potentially the lenders for short-term or medium-term lending, so quite often the banks, or they'll be pulling the rug. They don't tend to pull the rug right at the bottom of the market. They tend to pull the rug when things are recovering. Why? Because they think their assets might be worth a little bit more rather than selling right at the bottom. So they keep these businesses going, even though, frankly, they should have been killed some time ago. So you'll find actually there are quite a number of these. What actually then stops the banks pulling the rug? Well, over the past few years, you had the mere sort of reputation of banks wasn't very good. So actually cutting down businesses and all the work that went with them obviously wasn't really that popular. Also, then the banks were undercapitalized. Of course, every time you actually write off a business, you've then got to actually put some money aside to actually cover that loss. Now, the banks are generally better capitalized than before, but still by no means wildly strong to face a whole load of write-offs like this. And you see in the bank season already, those banks writing off a huge amount. So more of these zombie companies are around. And of course, they'll be asking for further investment. Be careful. Those are the ones you don't want to be investing in. How do you know them? Well, you know them in terms of where the growth is coming from, what's been happening in the past, what their market was like, what the economy was like, and how it's changed. And of course, as we all know, quite a lot of things have changed. The other issue, of course, with this is that because when you have all these zombie companies around, it actually really rather ruins the market because it takes the confidence out of it altogether. And so that can be really rather difficult. So you'll find yourself in a position, therefore, where banks have to write off more. These companies are in a position where they can't die and they should die. And so things are stuck. Now, this sounds awfully sort of negative on my part, but actually it's quite creative to have companies going bust, because when they go bust, it means that the assets will be released. Actually, then you'll find the next generation of businesses, sort of phoenix businesses, come out of the ashes of the last one. But by merely preserving these sort of rotting companies, these corpses, we're not actually helping at all. So, lesson for investors here: beware the zombies. Don't let them take your money, because it'll merely get stuck and you'll be left in the undead. So just check with all of those. Be careful. There are going to be an awful lot of them with their hands out asking for your money. Stay well clear. Look at those banks. They've got to write it off as well to make sure they can survive it. So stay clear of them as well, unless they can afford to do so. So a risk, really, rather than an investment. So beware. Good luck. Stay safe. Hang on to your money and keep healthy. Have a good week. Bye-bye.